Welcome to Let's Talk Nonprofit with Brittany Johnson. Welcome to Let's Talk Nonprofit with Brittany and Kev. How y'all doing?
Yep. Brittany, I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Yeah?
All right,
Yeah.
so we're gonna jump right on into it. We have a really special guest in the house tonight, and I really would don't want to belabor this, so just want to jump in and talk about our news that we have for today. And it's very quick, simple, short, sweet, to the point.
Right. And
just want to highlight that Must Ministries, they just opened up. They did a grand opening of a 43,000 square foot homeless center, and I'm like, that is amazing. So kudos to them because they did a $23 million capital campaign. I'm blown away. So that is just amazing, and see what they are able to do and how they're able to help those that are in need. So kudos to Must Ministries.
I know one thing, they better be in those areas where they see the people at. You know what I mean? So putting money to the effect, and that's what I feel like. You put the money to the people, and then that's where it'll play out well. But I'm definitely interested to see what they do for sure. So
yes. Interested in seeing what they are able to do. So all right, so we're gonna move right along. Don't want to belabor this. We have a special guest, like I stated earlier, and she is qualified for Fulton County Commission Chair. She's a president of the Associates of West Cascade Communities, participant in the development of the State of Mental Health Aggressive Client Training Program, past president-elect of the Loman Homeowners Association, and she has done a host of things and has been on a host of committees that I would love for her to talk about as she comes forth. The person that I am speaking about today, she is on the ballot for Fulton County Commission Chair, and I just want you all to give her a great round of applause, huge round of applause for Miss Jewel Johnson.
Welcome, Mrs. Johnson.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely. We appreciate you being on here for us today. And not just for us, but for everybody, especially the people here in the state of Georgia, city of Atlanta, Fulton County, everywhere. Because we know you're a veteran out here too, so.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on and taking this invite, because I know you could be out there hitting the ground running, making sure voters are getting out to vote, because today is we're coming up on voting, and so that is very important. I know early voting is about to end and the election day is here, so we are definitely looking forward to the results that are coming forth as result of the election. So just want to say congratulations in advance. So please tell us the audience about what you do.
Well, for many years I've been a community activist. I am not a politician, but I happen to love where I live. I love Fulton County, and I am in and out of different meetings, and I've been on different leadership role and all over Fulton County. You want to know the truth. Some of the things that I have done is, as you stated before, I worked for the state of Georgia, helped to write and implement the aggressive client training that they still administer today. I've been a union rep. I'm pro-labor. I'm one of the people to help put together and make the city of South Fulton. I shared on the ethics board for the city of South Fulton.
Okay.
And I headed the mobilization committee for environmental trust, and was able to mobilize over 5,000 residents for Atlanta. So
nice.
Those are just some of the things.
Definitely doing the work for the people, for the communities, especially for over in Cascade, and that is just wonderful because I grew up in that area, so I know all about it. I'm a native of Georgia as well, so I know the importance of keeping the community safe and making sure that people have what they need, because sometimes they can become overlooked. because we are on the side.
And we don't want to overlook the fact that it was my neighbors and I that made all of that possible for the Cascade area, including most of all the subdivisions. We had some input from it, working with the county at that particular time. So I have just been overly joyed to be able to live where I live and love where I live and do the things that I've been doing. And moving on to talking a little bit about where I am now as the commission chair. Mm-hmm. There is so many things that really bothered me. When you look at the fact that there's very little equity across Fulton County, and our money was going back to the government. So I had a very strong concern because we have so many needs over on this side. And one of them that's very important is nonprofits.
Yep.
And I really got into that because I also have a nonprofit. And going to a training a couple of times with the county, I realized that the criteria for being, contracted with the county as a nonprofit, that a lot of the criteria was very strenuous, which is one of the reasons why we don't have as many people being able to qualify.
Yes.
And one of the things that really bothered me about that was because by we not having as many people qualifying for it, that meant that the money had to go back to the federal government. So I want to change that.
Okay.
As your commission chair, I want to work with my staff and the county staff where we go back and take a serious look at our criteria, so we can try and come up with ways in which we can kind of restructure that, making sure that we are living up to the federal mandates for doing this. And once we do that, I'm quite sure I will send the alarm out for nonprofits to please come back and join us for when it's time to do that. And one thing I noticed that really bothered me, I noticed the people that qualified, every time it came up, it would always be the same people.
And
so one of the things...
Right. That is the same gripe I have. Like, I do understand why the same organizations are always getting the funding, and it's like they're using that as a segue to funnel for the smaller organizations, but it's like now they don't get the money. It's like they have to pre-qualify 2 times or twice as much to try to get the funding, or the small nonprofits that get the funding, but some of them don't qualify, and then others, they may qualify, but they're still going to give the grant money to their friends.
Right.
That's in their little cohort.
Well, as the commission chair, I aim to change that. That's one of the reasons why we're going to take a look at the entire process,
yes,
to make sure that everybody has a fair opportunity to be able to qualify. And if we're doing that, that means that we won't have money to send back to the federal government.
Exactly.
That's a real sticky...
That needs to be done here.
Yeah. That's a real sticky concern of mine. And it also plays a major role in my having qualified to be the commission chair.
Really? How
and
so?
Being the commission... Yeah. And being the commission chair, I'm one of these people that once I tell you I'm going to do something, I have to do it, no matter what. No matter what the obstacles are, I will keep in touch. I will let the people know, hey, this is where we are with this. This is the obstacles right here, but this is the plan to try and go over that obstacle. And there may be times when I may have to call on the people to say, hey, I want to make this fair for everybody across Fulton County. Right. So there may be certain things that we might have to do. But because as the commission chair, that means I do have the at-large seat, meaning I represent the entire county.
Right.
But when you're doing things like this, I have to keep in mind also that I need 4 votes Okay, so one of the things that I will be doing is continuing to build the relationship that I already have with the existing commissioners, and I truly believe that I can make this happen. I do applaud myself as a strong negotiator because oh yes, definitely. This is very dear to my heart, along with a lot of other things that has happened within the county, which I will be taking a look at other things as well as the nonprofits. But I want you to understand that at some point or another, I may have to come back to the communities and say, hey, I got all the commissioners on board except one. So we might have to have a little sat down and talk with that particular one. But we will not give up. We will address these issues and we will solve the problems, because that's what I'm there for, is to represent the people and make sure that there's fairness all across Fulton County. We have to do this. And I'm committed to doing it. And that's the reasons why I'm running. But that just happened to be one that really sticks out to me, is our nonprofits. But all of them are very important. That's the reason I won't be just looking at one. I'm going to look at all of them.
Right.
Exactly
to
right.
make
Because
sure
everybody serve their purpose. Like, all nonprofits have their purpose in the communities and the target audience that they want to serve. And I think that's very important to be able to spread the wealth so that everybody can have equal opportunity, and so that people are able to flourish and really do what's on their heart, what they are called to do. Because nonprofits, some people look at it as a money pit, or they can come up easily by doing a nonprofit, but no, it's all about your heart posture. It's all about your purpose. It's all about doing things that really tugs on your heart. And everybody has a specific area, whether they're dealing with autism, whether they're dealing with children, whether they're dealing with inner city youth, or whether it's dealing with homelessness, whatever the case, or what we call it now, the unhoused individuals. Is everybody has a purpose. Even elderly, they need assistance. Everybody needs assistance in some shape, form, or fashion. And for us to be able to have the capital readily available and accessible. That's the most important thing, having it accessible for the nonprofits. I think that will make a world of difference for communities at large.
Exactly. Now, Mr. Johnson, let me ask you this. Now, I heard you mention you don't look at yourself as somebody in politics. You look at yourself as a civil leader, a civic leader in the communities, correct?
Yes.
Gotcha. So with that being said, when it comes to meeting in the communities, because I had the pleasure, when I was a community engagement coordinator, I had the pleasure to work with Cleta Winslow, who was with City Council at the time. And what she would do is she would come to the communities, right? And she would host different events with me in collaboration with me. But, again, the one thing that she did do is come by and make sure that she met the residents and talked with them. So looking at that, in a sense, when you go to these communities, how do you build rapport with your communities and with the individuals in which you are looking to serve? Because I saw that you said you have old school and new school methods. I'm just interested to see what you do both ways, because I know the game's changed, but at the same time, I know you can still what would they call it? Grease the wheel if the grease still good. I just made that up, but that worked too.
Well, one of the things that I'd like for you to know is that, having been as active as I've been in communities, I'm no stranger to a lot of the communities. And being the at-large commissioner, what I would do, and I'm going to do, and that is have town hall meetings. And I will let the mayor and council in that area that I choose to do it in know that I will be there, and they can join me. And put it out there for the citizens, because I think it's so important to know what it is that the people want.
Right.
I want to hear from the people.
Yeah.
Because that's the way, and maybe you can call that old school, but at the same time, it gives me an opportunity to learn what it is that they want It gives me an opportunity to figure out how to design it, because as a leader, you have to have vision. You have to be able to be creative. You have to be a good listener, and you have to have compassion. So that will allow me to continue on with all these qualities that I've had for quite some time.
Yep.
And I feel that a lot of people like that. They will get to know me. And that's how I ended up getting a congressional honor from Congressman John Lewis, was because of my community advocacy. I was always there. I was always calling him. And sometimes we would meet in the grocery store right there at Kroger's on Cascade. And we both would be shopping, and I'd end up and going on, and he'd be on and on. It was such a delight to talk and share. He would learn from me. I would learn from him. And it was just a beautiful experience. And I truly miss him. You want to know the truth?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but don't we all miss him?
I got his book at the house. One of them. Yeah, right. Definitely. Now, Mr. Johnson, let me ask you this. Now, I know as I read your bio, you came from nursing initially, correct?
Correct.
How did you get into, I'm not going to call it politics, we're going to say, was it civic? You were a civic activist, civic leader. How did you transition from nursing to this? Not,
I never really transitioned from nursing. Exactly. I love nursing. And what happened was, where I was living at the time, let's go as far back as Atlanta missing and murdered children. And there were a couple of kids that were found, not too far from my house. So I became very, very interested, being that I love the area. That's where I bought. That's what I loved. I wanted to make sure that it was safe. And I started just exploring and attending meetings. I would even show up at a lot of the NPU meetings. So, if I would hear about it or it's posted for me to hear about it, I would go there and voice my opinions. I never backed away or shied away from anything that was concerning where I live. And it didn't matter to me whether it was Fulton County or whether it was City of Atlanta. Right. And a lot of the people in the City of Atlanta have worked with me and they know of me. And some of them really, really knows me, because I came up with a lot of the people, like Miss Winslow knows me very well from working back in the community, along with many of the others. So, it was a situation where my kids was young, but there was Little League, PTA. I was a part of all of that. I multitasked for a lot of things. Yeah, I multitasked for a lot of things. I never stopped working because, in the African American community, we have to have 2 paychecks. Okay. So during that time, and I was bringing up my children, I would do both jobs, community work, and work in the school system. My kids are products of the Atlanta public school system. Okay. My boys graduated from Westlake, 2 of them did. And my other one was, I drew a blank, but he went to Lakeshore.
He graduated, though. He graduated. That's all that mattered.
He graduated. He was the oldest one. And it was a good thing because I was able to keep up with everything. So when we decided that, we need to do something about where we live. And it was a group of neighbors and we decided that this is going to be developed, so let's do what we want to do. Okay, so that's when we formed the Association of West Cascade Communities, and the rest of it is history. And I was the president of the Association of West Cascade Community. Before then, I was on the planning and zoning for the organization. And did various things. You would be surprised when you're really into something and something is needed. I volunteer. Okay, I'll handle that, And you find up doing 2 or 3 different things. So I never really transitioned from nursing. Right. Nursing is really, to me, it's just like, it's serving.
Right.
And I truly believe I was born to serve. And when I had to take a little bit of an early retirement because I came down with spinal stenosis. So when that happened, a lot of the back bending and knee pushing and all that stuff I could no longer do. But God spoke to me and told me, get up and stop being depressed. There's too many people out there need you. So that's what I did, and form a nonprofit to help disadvantaged women and children. That's the reason why nonprofits are really dear to my heart, because of it really gave me another way of serving,
Right.
and encouraged me to be able to stay on the front lines because we need people like that.
And that's good. That's good.
What
And how long have your nonprofit been up and running?
We got our 501c3, I believe, in 2019. We actually started in, 2016, I believe.
Okay.
We actually started. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so tell everybody again the name of your nonprofit organization and how they can support.
The name of it is Women of Change. And as I said, we help disadvantaged women and children. We're not, we more or less like a resource, like if you need something, and we have connections with what your needs are. Okay. We, like resources out. And there are quite a few organizations that I don't have them here in front of me, that when we get the calls, or sometimes we get things from the schools, because we're very connected to the schools. So we try and do everything we can. And before the pandemic came, we had a big gala, which was in 2019. Same year we got our
Was it before it was pandemic or during pandemic?
It was just before the pandemic, which this was late 2019. I think it was October when we had it. But it was very successful, because one of the things that we were doing was honoring the people who had been very helpful in the community, that was like the little worker bees, and nobody ever honored them. Right. And I remember one of the people was actually crying at the gala, and I said, "What's the matter?" And they said, "I've worked so long and so hard, and no one has ever honored me for any of my work." I said, "Well, that's the reason we're honoring you, because of all the wonderful things I know that you've done."
Yeah.
And it was so successful. It was very, very nice. Yeah. We honored them. And that's the kind of things I want to continue doing, because we have so many people that actually participates and make our cities and counties and state as wonderful as it is. And they are never even acknowledged. It's always the big business person.
We have to give give roses to people, before they pass away. So that's good that you are giving people their roses sooner than later.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Now, Mr. Johnson, let me ask you this. I heard you mention certain things, such as like the Atlanta child murders that happened years ago. Now, for me, I'm one of those people. I love history. I like watching documentaries, whether it be unsung or the different stuff like that. Can you kind of go back to that time and kind of discuss how, when it comes to communities banding together and nonprofit work and all that, what would you say is the difference between then as well as now, and when people get into communities and form the nonprofits?
Well, I think maybe the difference now is things have changed so much. We had an influx of different people that has joined the state of Georgia, which we welcome everybody. But everybody comes with their own mindset and ideas. So they do things a little bit different. So that's where I believe our creativity has to come into play, so that we can master the different things together and work together. Because that was some of the things that I had to do, because I believe I lost 3 people off my board because of the pandemic, and two of them passed away because of the COVID-19, and one of them had medical issues, and we lost her. But it was kind of challenging at first. But one of the things that really hit home was that no matter where you were, where you was from, the mere fact that everybody had the same issues as it related to trying to help women, disadvantaged women and children, especially the women who end up in these extended cares with children. And they was being faced with a lot of crisis. So when we started trying to help with that, which was very good because there was, in fact, the church that I attend, they have a CDC which would help the women and children that was disadvantaged and displaced. And there were so many things that they needed that we had to, all come together. Right. In a big nutshell, no matter what it is, when you're looking at human life and you're seeing that the crisis that they're under, we can come together and fix those things when your heart is in it and you really mean to do what's well. I mean, what needs to be done.
Right.
I would say it all comes out to be able to be creative and bring in the new people that comes in with their ideas and not be shunning everybody off because you don't think that, they should be pushing that. You can get something from everybody if you just take the time to listen and work with it.
It does. And Ms. Johnson, can you tell everybody how they can contact you, how they can support you in a campaign as well as for your nonprofit?
Well, one of the things that you can do for me, for those that would like to know more, my website is mrsjeweljohnson.com. You can call up all your friends and neighbors and co-workers and organizations that you are a member of. Tell them the story of Jewel Johnson and how important it is to have someone like Jewel Johnson, to be in representation for them. Share with them the things that I've already done and share with them what I will be doing for our nonprofits and a lot of the other human service type things that we are not getting, and making sure that there's fair equity across Fulton County. That is very, very important. Yes, and I can even, I'm always open. I even have a number they can call me if they want to. And that's the number that I use all the time. I don't change numbers. I want to talk to you. Yeah. I may be able to save a life by listening. Yeah. And that number is 678-431-3157. And I have no intentions of changing that unless something drastic happens. Where I have to. I don't shy away from people. And if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to break my neck trying to do it. And if the obstacles get too great, I'm going to call you and say, look, this is what's happening. You know. And we appreciate that. Honesty is key. Like, one thing that we appreciate is you being honest and open and willing to talk to people and not shying away from the people, because you are employed by the people. So, right. When you get into office, when you're running for a public position, you are the employee at this point, and that are employed by the people that have elected you. And so I just thank you for even taking the time out and having an open heart and having an open mind and being willing to do the work that is needed in this community. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Well, you're welcome.
And we'll be in touch soon. And so any things you want to say before we go?
I just wanted to make this very clear to me as and that is, I don't want to see any more people having to sleep on the streets. And that's another program, which is a lot of nonprofits that works with that. And I want to make sure that we are doing everything that we can to eliminate that. And I do have a plan. It would take too long to go through it right here. But, if you got some time and I got some time, I'll share it with you. Yep. And hopefully when I share it with the municipalities, they will join in and say, oh, that's wonderful. Let's see what we can do together.
Right.
So
right.
I think it's important that people know that. And again, I want to thank you all for having me. And I want to thank you, Ms. Johnson, for being a very tentative listener when I first met you. Mm-hmm. And I was impressed with you. And it's just like we clicked.
Yeah,
and they say that
we did.
They say that when God takes one thing from you, he gives you another. I lost my sister to COVID in April 14, 2020.
Oh, wow.
And she was very, very close to me. In fact, she was my treasurer. Mm-hmm. And I tell you, that was almost devastating for me. Mm-hmm. But the person that I am, my inner spirit told me, you can't shut down. Yeah. There are too many people out there that really needs people like you. Yeah. And to meet you, you're like another sister.
Aww, bless you.
When I meet people like you and the young lady that assists me in my campaign, mm-hmm. I call her sister. I've adopted her too. Mm-hmm. I'm adopted.
Being adopted. It's good people's hands. I love it.
Right.
I love it. Right. So we definitely appreciate Ms. Julie. And I'm going to be calling you because we have some more stuff to talk about. But
right.
I saw it was befitting for us to bring you on here so that you can have a chance to use this platform to talk about things you're wanting to do with regarding to nonprofits and how that's going to help others and how that's tied into your campaign. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
Thank you.
Everybody, at the end of the day, May 24th, all right? That's a Tuesday, election day. Obviously, we're not steering here, but we're telling you, look on that ballot and see some familiar names. They might have been on the show, but we ain't steering. All right.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Take care. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Jewel Johnson, for taking the time out to talk to us. I really appreciate it. We appreciate it.
We all appreciate it.
So thank you so much. Now we're going to move on to our motivational moment with Ms. Joanne Dean.
Greetings and blessings to you. This one, it's all about divine timing. Life has a way of unfolding in the perfect time, space, and sequence. If you find yourself feeling anxious or impatient, know that your prayers are being answered and that your plans are coming to fruition in a way that is meeting your needs versus your wants. Until next time, continue to walk by faith and remember, it all begins with you. God bless.
Thank you, Ms. Joanne Dean, for that wonderful motivational moment. As always, giving us that good, positive energy, good perspective, things that we can use to move on with our day, our lives, all that. Okay. And of course, you can find us online at letstalknonprofit.org. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. Where else are we at? Amazon Music, Google Music, Spotify. Add some listens to our show if you don't mind. But if you don't mind, we'll come find you. But at the same time, like I said, definitely check us out online. Brittany, is there anything else that you want to add to it?
I would say just tag 5 friends.
I like that.
5 friends.
I like that.
Each person tag 5 friends so that we can get more listeners, more viewers. Mm-hmm. So just come on in. We have great content, so why don't you come on and listen?
Check us out on Let's Talk Nonprofit. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.